Hey everyone, Kili and Mike here from Long Range with the Lilies. Welcome back. We just got back from the National Rifle League 2020 Championship down in Oklahoma. And while we were there, we thought that we would take the time to interview some of the best shooters in the nation and ask them what one piece of advice that they would give to new shooters.
Yeah, just by virtue of being invited to compete in the national championship for the National Rifle League indicates the status of the shooters that we interviewed. Everybody that we're interviewing is a good shooter. Most of them are multi-time national match winners, with a couple of them having won the overall NRL season before, and also some PRS season winners as well. So with that being said, let's just get right into the advice that the pros would give to a new shooter.
We are here with the infamous. Notorious Ryan Hay. Ryan, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would that piece of advice be?
Get off the internet and get out to a match.
Okay.
Get out to a match, see what everyone's running. Don't listen to everyone on the internet, especially the groups and forums. Get out, see what everyone's running, ask questions out of a match. RO. Go and RO a couple matches and see how it actually is.
Yes, awesome. Okay, thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it. We are here with Jake VIBBERT. Jake, if there is one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Great question. For me, it's just going to be don't get nervous. Everyone's out here to have a really good time. A lot of times people get really intimidated. Come out, have fun, don't be nervous, and just meet a lot of great people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, we are here with COLLIN FOSSEN. COLLIN, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is our passion. We really enjoy it. Make sure that you ask us questions because we're happy to share it.
We are here with Corey. Is it VOGES?
VOGES.
VOGES. Corey, if you could give one piece of advice to a new shooter, what would that piece of advice be?
Drop your ego. Definitely listen to people that are better than you, so pros out there, and find a mentor. So kind of goes hand in hand, but absorb as much as you can and apply it, because I think too many people come in here thinking they know what they're doing, and it obviously shows. So
yeah, awesome. That's great. Thank you so much, Corey. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
All right, everybody, we are here with SATTERLEE, and
How are you, Kili?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. So, one piece of advice that you would give to a new shooter, if you had just one piece of advice.
One piece of advice, huh? Don't get too wrapped around the axle with the stuff that's on the internet. You know, it's hard to kind of filter out some of the stuff that's out there, right? And what I try to do, I just like keep it as easy as you can,
right,
up front, and try not to get too deep into the rabbit hole too early.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time to just keep digging down into that rabbit hole. Get out and go shoot and compete. That's really where it's at. When you get out and you start shooting and you compete and you do stuff like this, it's the learning curve goes up pretty quick.
It does.
Especially because you get to hang around with, and you're going to be squatted with guys that really know what they're doing, and just the bleed over knowledge that you're going to get is going to be critical.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you.
We're here with Rusty ULMER. Rusty, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Go to local matches. Go shoot as many local matches as you can, and find the guys who do well and ask them questions. Everybody loves to talk about this sport that shoots the sport, and we love to help new shooters, so that's going to save you a ton. And borrow their equipment. Don't buy a bunch of equipment. Borrow their equipment. Whoever you're shooting with, everybody likes to loan their equipment out. Don't spend a bunch of money on equipment that you're going to sell in 2 months when you figure out what you really need. So
excellent.
I guess that would be it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey everyone, Kili here from Long Range with the Lilies. We are doing one piece of advice. So I am here with Travis ISHIDA, president and founder of the National Rifle League. Travis, if you could give a new shooter one piece of advice, what would it be?
One piece of advice would be seek out good education.
Okay.
Seek out a good mentor, somebody that you can learn from, learn the ins and outs. You know, too many chiefs sometimes could be you know, detrimental to your education.
It's true.
But if you find, you know, one good source of information that's doing well, I think that'll get you a lot farther than taking a little bit from everybody.
Right, right. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
All right. Thank you very much, Travis. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Here with Eric Anderson of Blue Mountain Precision, one of the quality gunsmiths out there in the nation. So what we're doing is we're asking everybody, all the good shooters, what their advice is to new shooters coming into this sport, or those guys just getting started. So there you go.
My advice to new shooters, as a guy who was around hunting style series matches to start with, and then kind of got more involved with NRL, PRS style shooting and positional shooting, is get a rifle like a 223 or something like that, maybe 308. I know stuff's harder to get right now these days. And get to shooting and practicing, and go to your local range, throw bags on everything, get in the different positions, take a notebook to the match, use the back of your match book, take notes, you know, write down, this guy did this, you know, he hucked his, you know, elbow up on his knee when he went off of that tripod, or he went off of this branch on the tree to extra support, and figure out how to stabilize that gun quick, you know. And the big thing is don't worry about your gear so much, you know, just go and shoot, you know, whatever you got, and just get shooting, and that'll get you up the ranking, and that right there will get you into the winner's circle. So that's my piece of advice.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
All right, everybody, we have Paul here, Paul DALIN. If you could give one piece of advice to a new shooter, what would that piece of advice be?
Work on fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, there you have it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're here with JANAE FREHNER. Did I say that right, FREHNER? Yeah. Okay. JANAE, if there was one piece of advice that you could give a new shooter, what would that be?
I would say, I think I've seen over the years of competing, people get so worried about the clock.
Oh, yeah.
I tell new shooters, don't even pay attention. Just go as slow or as fast as you want. By fast, I mean slow. If you only take one shot, taking one shot, making one hit is better than taking 8 shots and getting 8 misses because you're just worried about finishing. You don't need to worry about finishing when you're brand new. Worry about making good shots and, you know, breaking clean and having good trigger presses.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We're here with Tate Streeter. Tate, if there is one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
My piece of advice would be to actually get out and go shoot at a match. Here in Oklahoma, I grew up with the OPPS, which is a extremely active club. Now we have kind of national, you know, series, but find a small local one-day club that can more or less grow and, you know, sounds weird, but nurture you and you know, and teach you everything you need to know so you don't waste your time at a big match.
Right.
You know, it's a more comfortable environment. Not that this isn't comfortable, but, you know, if somebody's scared of going, there's absolutely nothing to be scared about. But people are sometimes intimidated about going out and, you know, doing things they don't know and meeting people they don't know. But everybody in this community, from Florida to Washington, are accepting and, you know, want to help you out.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Hey everyone, Kili here from Long Range with the Lilies, here with Dan BERTOCCHINI, and we are kind of interviewing some people to see the one piece of advice that they would give to a new shooter. So Dan, what's your piece of advice?
My piece of advice, obviously quality gear helps out tremendously, but I'll just we'll focus on a quality optic and quality scope. There's so many options out there. You just have to find something that is reliable, durable, tracks well, the glass is good enough to see targets, and there's a reticle that's useful, one that you could like. I would honestly start off with a reticle that wasn't super busy. Just keep it simple, you know, so that way you have a good field of view. You're not getting lost in the reticle, and yeah, just keep it simple and make sure it tracks. You know, do a track test on it. I try not to go to a match with even a scope that I know works well. I always try to track test it. I went to a match and not had good results because I took a new scope to a match that didn't work out well. Not Leupold, but another one. So yeah, that'd be my biggest thing. It's just quality gear, quality optics. Kind of, you know, buy once, cry once, but there's good scopes at lower prices out there too. So yeah.
Okay, well thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, Clay BLACKKETTER. I said that right.
I know it. You didn't add the extra L like the rest of the world.
Awesome. So if there's one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
just jump in and go to a match. It's so easy to look back and think, oh, you know, if I just get this, then I'll be ready to go. And then once you get that, you're like, oh, when I get this, I'll be ready. The best thing to do is just go out, show up, and get your butt kicked. It's gonna happen. You know, your first couple of times out there, and then just keep going. The best thing that you can't learn it until you do it. So just get out there and start shooting.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet.
We are here with Nick KYTLICA.
Right.
I
There
almost
you go.
tongue-tied that
That's
one
good.
up.
It's not an easy one.
And so, Nick, if you could give one piece of advice to a new shooter, what would that piece of advice be?
You know, when we talk about shooting matches, a lot of it is concentrated on actually the shooting, right? Like positional and reading wind. I would practice your pre-stage stuff. Get a process down, right?
Yeah.
And do it the same every time. That way, because when you start new, it's overwhelming, right?
It is.
So
very
there's a lot. I got to get my dope. I got to make sure I got rounds in the mag. I got to make sure the gun's set up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff moving and going on. So getting a process down and doing it the same every time will make it easier, and it'll just get smoother. It'll be second nature, right? Once you get off a stage, you go and you do the same thing every time, and you get ready for the next stage.
Yeah.
And I think that for me helped me a lot to get that process down, to be able to be ready, because you know that the actual act of shooting is always, you know, that
it's so fast.
Yeah.
When you're done.
Right. But the pre-work is really, really important. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff that goes into being successful.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I still struggle with that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And we're always refining, right?
Exactly.
And you're always seeing what's working, what's not working, and you might see, you know, be like, oh, maybe I should switch these two things I do, you know, or you know, and caveat to that, but mental visualization too.
Okay.
So when you get the stage brief and you're looking at it, it's visualizing in your head going through and how you're going to shoot it.
Right.
But that's part of the pre-stage, you know, work. Yeah,
awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm here with NILS FOLEY. NILS, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
You know, I think it would be that just remember, everybody gets into this to have fun, and don't get caught up in the gear, don't get caught up in match scores. Remember that we're all doing this because we started by liking shooting.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, we are here with John Kyle TRUITT of Foundation Stocks. John Kyle, if there was one piece of advice that you would give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Go out and shoot. Don't be scared. Don't be concerned about how you're going to look. There's going to be a lot of great people as soon as you go out there willing to help you. And that's just a neat thing about this community, is that you can jump in and honestly you could probably go to a match without a rifle, without ammo, and you could probably still shoot the match. It's just the kind of people that are in it. So that's what I'd say. Just go shoot and don't be concerned about looking silly or doing poorly, because we all start somewhere.
We've all started somewhere. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Bet.
I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we are here with ASHTON GLASSCOCK. ASHTON, if you could give one piece of advice to a new shooter, what would it be?
It would be that if you come out to a match and you don't do nearly as well as you think you wanted to or that you thought you were going to, don't get down, because a lot of these guys take years and years of practicing. They have some of the best equipment that they've personalized to what works best for them and everything. So it takes a lot of just playing around with new things and practicing to get where a lot of these guys are today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys, we are here with Todd Williams. Todd, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
I would say find a mentor that can answer questions that come up, because it would really advance how quickly you come along in the sport versus trying to find your way through.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks.
So, Austin ORGAIN.
Yep.
If there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
I'd say get with somebody experienced that's shot before, that's been to some matches. You can pick up so much from them. You can figure out what kind of gear you want to do, what kind of gear you want to get and run, and then just go out and shoot. You know, so many people are scared to get started. They think they're intimidated, and then, you know, once you kind of get going, go take a class somewhere. Go find somebody that's better than you and try to beat them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, so this is Quinn Rogers. Quinn, if there is one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
I would say go take a JTAT class. It had a tremendous effect on my game. Man, go get some coaching. I recommend JTAT class, but go get a class. Go get a class from someone that's better than you. It'll help you out, I promise you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we are here with John Pinch. John, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Okay, I think there's a lot of things, but I think there's a pretty clear route in this game right now, equipment-wise. I would talk to somebody that's in this game. I think there's BR-based cartridges, there's certain chassis and bags that everyone's using. I think there's a pretty clear route, excuse me, how to get pretty far along in the sport gear-wise. And there's tons of training questions and all kinds of other answers you can give, but ask somebody what they're using and run that and then go from there.
All right, thank you, John.
Yep.
We are here with Jim C., co-match director of the National Rifle League 2020 Championship extended season, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jim, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to new shooters, what would it be?
Well, I think being a new shooter insinuates you never shot a match. So I'd say the first thing you need to do is just get your gear ready and sign up and shoot a match. Lots of new shooters have this fear of coming to a match and looking bad. Trust me, nobody cares how you shoot. People care about how they shoot. They don't look at other people and go, oh look, haha. It's not that way. So most of the veteran shooters, even some of the newer shooters, are really accommodating to new shooters. They're going to help you out, loan you gear. Just come out to a match. If 2-day matches intimidate you, there's plenty of 1-day match series out there, or just local club matches. Get out, experience it once, and you'll be hooked.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jim.
You're welcome.
Hey, we're here with Carson Rutherford. Carson, you've been shooting for a little bit now. What is this, your
second or third year?
Third year, I think, right?
Yeah, probably third.
All right, so if you could give one piece of advice to new shooters, what would it be?
What helped me the most get good pretty quickly is probably just sitting down and dry firing. I probably spent about 2 weeks when I just dry fired a lot, and I noticed a big improvement after that. Went from going from 20th consistently to about top 10, maybe top 5 every now and then.
Yeah. The best part about it is it doesn't cost any ammo in these times.
That's very true. Very hard times for primers and stuff right now.
Yeah. All right, cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we are here with Matt Allwine. Matt, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a new shooter, what would it be?
Don't miss.
Don't miss. There it is. Thank you.
Okay, so there you have it, a broad spectrum of answers. There weren't a lot that said the same thing. There were a couple trends, however, finding a mentor and just getting out there and shooting. I think, you know, that if I had to give one piece of advice, that's what it would be, is just to get out there and shoot, see if you like it. Don't get hung up on buying the latest and greatest until you decide that you actually like it. What would your one piece of advice be?
So very similar. Get out there and shoot. You know, we see a lot of people looking on forums all the time saying, hey, what do I need to buy? I'm going to build this rig. And my pieces of advice to people are, and I hate to say it like this because it's bad grammar, run what you brung. And everybody starts somewhere. No, we see some people shooting to the top really fast, but the majority of people, we all started at the bottom. We all started at step 1. We all had to learn something to get where we are at now. So run what you brung, and everybody starts somewhere. So don't worry about having to show up and impress somebody, because we've all had to learn something.
That was like 6 pieces of advice.
Wow.
Okay.
It all goes together.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this week. Keely, do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, that was it. That's all my advice. Thank you guys for watching. It was such a pleasure to see all of our friends again and meet some new faces and get some feedback on the channel. The weather was great in Oklahoma, and I cannot wait to go back down there again. You guys, thank you so much for watching the channel. If you like what you see, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment, share this with your friends, and we will see you out there.